You ever want to get that vintage look for your camera, but you're not exactly sure how? And let's be honest, Fuji cameras right now are insanely expensive, right? When you try to buy an X100 series, whether it's the very first one or the X106, super overpriced, or they're going to take forever to get to you. Or maybe you don't want to buy a different camera system. Well, that's where this comes in handy. This is a Helios 44M. This was made in 1959. This one's a little different than most because if we look in the center right there, you can kind of see that wire coming across. That's actually a fish line, which is going to give it a fake anamorphic flare. It's nothing like normal anamorphic where it's got that image all squeezed in and you have to de-squeeze it in post. It just gives you those flares. Now, this is something that you can just unscrew the back and install if you want to. It's just something fun to kind of give it a different look. But if you're wondering, how do I adapt it? Well, this is the adapter. This is an M42 mount. So all you got to do is buy this adapter. I'll have some links down below. Just buy M42 to whatever camera you use. You can buy them for about $10 to $20. Super easy. But now that we have that intro out of the way and you know how to do it, let's go out and test it. Images that I took really quick. And this is just some ivy grown on a tree. And you can see it's just nothing special of an image, but I wanted to use this as an example because you can see this ivy start to kind of swirl right here. And then as we look up into the sky, just look how swirly that bokeh is around and behind our subject. So this ivy right here on the right-hand side would be in focus and our subject. And then this just kind of swirls next to it. So it's going to help just bring that subject more in focus. And we'll look at another image. Now, you don't really see too much of that swirl on this one as I'm very close to these blueberry bushes, but you can see just how sharp that is and just not much chromatic aberration when we're looking at it. If we go to these other shots of this blueberry bush, you can see just a little bit of swirly bokeh in the background, but nothing major. And we can get a little bit of that chromatic aberration right here off of that white. But like most vintage lenses, you're going to have some type of chromatic aberration, but you have that nice swirl. So it's a little give and take. And then we have an image of our dog and you can see that swirl definitely right here behind him. Just, you don't even see in that background. Over here, this is where those blueberry and blackberry bushes that I was talking about were in the last image. But you're not even going to notice that. You're just kind of seeing this swirl and it focusing on him. Now, if we go in just a little bit, you can see we're focused right around his tongue and that area. And you can see definitely how sharp that is. And then right here, we have another image of him. And just, again, that nice swirl that helps bring him to be in more focus for the viewer to see. So those are just some fun shots that I took in the backyard. Nothing serious. This lens has been around forever. It was made for like 40 years. So we're all going to have completely different versions of it. Some will be sharper, some won't be as sharp. Some will be the KMZ one. There's plenty of different versions of it, but it's a fun thing. It's a fun lens to have. And it's nice to be able to adapt that onto your camera and walk around and have that. And the cool thing is all those old lenses, you know, the ones when you start photography that everybody gives you, you can use a lot of these because M42 was a universal mount for a lot of 35mm cameras. So if you get that mount, you don't just have to worry about using the Helios. You can use whatever you want. Now, just one note is that your autofocus is not going to work. You're going to have to manually focus. You can throw on focus peaking or something like that and figure out where your focus point is, or just eyeball it, whatever you want to do. But it is fun. You can pick these up for like $50 to $100 and just get some cool, unique looks with that swirly bokeh and just kind of like a vintage look, just like a softer look to your image. But I hope this was helpful. I hope this gives you some idea of something new and fun to try with your photography. As always, I appreciate you hanging out with me. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I'd love to hear from you. God bless. I'll see you in the next one.